Back in the day in my chiropractic practice, I was noticing patients coming in with stress-related problems, and they weren't getting better. And I always thought, I want to offer them something that gives them some tools so that they can become their own healer. And at the time, I came up with, from all of the personal development work that I did for my own kind of well-being, because I dealt with a lot of anxiety from teenage on, actually from childhood on. I always felt this hyper-vigilant anxiousness, and personal growth was always important to me. And so I started studying John DeMartini's work, and it really opened up doors for me. So I started piecing together a self-inquiry tool that helps us come to terms with stuck emotions and unwanted emotional states. And I just needed to come up with a name for it. So how do I label this and it's appropriate and it's so fitting? And then I thought of the overview effect. Do you guys know what the overview effect is? The overview effect is the cognitive shift that astronauts make when they leave the planet. Take a look at this picture of the Earth here. Imagine you were on a spaceship, you left the Earth, and you looked down at the Earth and you saw its totality. You don't see any kind of cultural or any national boundaries around countries, do you? You don't see people's different faiths and religions. You don't see any of that. You don't see, when you look at it from here, you see all of it as one. There's this kind of unity that you experience when you see it. And when astronauts would come back to Earth, they were never the same again. And I would always kind of be inspired by what astronauts would say. And Colonel Chris Hadfield, Canadian astronaut, I asked him, I said, what was it like? Did you have that shift? Did you have that overview effect? And he said, yeah, I did. He says, when you come back down to Earth, you're never the same. You don't see the world the same way. And I thought to myself, that's so interesting, because the clients that I work with, when we give them these questions, my intention is for you to, as you see yourself stuck in your relationship dynamic, in your unwanted emotional state, maybe at a crossroads in your life, you just experienced a wake-up call, you're dealing with health issues. We become very solipsistic or narcissistic because it becomes all about us and our problems, doesn't it? It's essentially what happens. We're all covert narcissists when we're, triggered into our childhood woundings. Narcissism is pretty much when we have our development stopped because of childhood wounding, because we didn't have a chance to become our own individuals because of a disconnection from a secure attachment with our mothers, right? And so because of this, we then lose the big picture. And so my intent for you is to really get connected with this overview effect so that you can then come back and go, wow, I want my life to be meaningful beyond my problems. Whether it's your painting, whether you're using your art to do it, whether you want to be a facilitator and you want to guide other people and you want to talk to them about some of the struggles you went through. Think of the struggles that you have overcome. You might find that it feels really inspiring to you to talk to other people and tell your story. Well, great. That's the overview effect. That's the effect of leaving the planet, changing your perception and perspective of the entire thing, and then coming back and going, wow, Nima, now what? That's what happened to me. And after I had this shift in my mind and my body, I thought to myself, there was a new vision that emerged, and I thought, I want to help other people with this. And here we are. And 5 years ago, I created that possibility in my chiropractic practice to leave from full-time practice and then teach. And then when COVID hit, that became kind of like the bridge that I needed to take all of my live events and turn them online. And the overview experience is usually a 3-day live event. But since COVID, I kind of broke it up into 2, breathwork and badassery and overview experience. And this is kind of anybody who's in our Cycle Breakers community. This is just part of your training. Today, my invitation for you is to see the overview experience just as an information gathering place. We're gathering information on our climb up the hill, which is what life is. It's a metaphor for life, hiking up a mountain. And so we get to experience some of the pleasure and the pain of it. And the overview method simply is an access point to our inner knowing. It is a tool that I've put together from cognitive methodologies and somatic methodologies, top-down, cognitive-based, which if you've ever done therapies and Landmark and DeMartini, that's all cognitive, plus the missing piece from my entire life until recently, the somatic piece. Together, when you put these two together and you integrate these two, all of a sudden, nobody's gonna have to ask, you never go, oh, I don't know what I want. You know exactly what the next move is. So this is what the overview method is. And my intention is to really help you connect to the knowing inside so that you can then move through the world inner guided from the voice within rather than from outside external voices. The voice and the vision on the inside becomes louder than opinions on the outside. That's the natural result of making the overview method a regular part of your practice.
I believe the work is so effective because it's authentic, it's real, and in the group setting, it's empowering to see that there's other people that are going through the exact same thing you're going through.
I met Nima back in 2015 in March, so I was in Quebec City and there was a chiropractor event actually. But I'm not a chiropractor, my dad is, and he told me, I think you're gonna like this guy. He's a DeMartini student, but he's doing like more emotional state. So I said, okay, I'll just go there because I was in the dark place in my life. I was on the addiction part and just judging myself and depression, anxiety. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna go and see what's up with him. So I went to the conference and I was moved to tears after the talk about his vision to actually bring his tool, the overview, to teenagers and young adults.
So I'm attending this workshop with my partner, and it has really helped our relationship already only in 2 days' time with our intimacy with each other, and to be able to see each other's triggers and each other's emotions in a much better way.
I am actually really blown away by how simple and effective it is, like what Dr. Nema put together. That it's not just intellectual, it's a body-mind connection, and it's a work in your own body and where you're storing your emotions and where is that leading you and stopping you.